Hey everybody, Agent of Doubt here, world's worst SJW, and actually resident licensed addiction counselor who, has some opinions on some stuff sometimes. I got through with my busy work day, and I sat down and started vegging out on some YouTube and watched the Philip DeFranco show today, January 26th, and 6 minutes in, he says something that I just wanted to respond to.
I think this could be fantastic. I don't care if it's a Republican, a Democrat, a fucking alien from space putting forth a bill. I think this could be a game changer, and it's something that's needed. The fact that marijuana is the same scheduled drug as heroin is the dumbest fucking shit ever. You've just got labels and laws based on something that really has no footing in reality or rational thought. Hey, that's a situation.
Okay, so I have some thoughts on this. This is in regards to a story about Amazon backing a Republican bill to legalize marijuana, which would remove it from Schedule 1 controlled substances, right? Now, why is Amazon backing this? Well, they're running out of people to fucking hire, right? They've got their own policies about what you can have in your past as far as being employed at Amazon, and rather than allow people to be rehired to Amazon if they quit or were fired in the past, they're looking to just churn through everyone. Every available employee must one day work for Amazon for a little while and then get spit out the other end. That's their business model at this point, right? So They have this rule that, you have to pass a drug test, in order to be an employee because, their insurance companies wouldn't allow for them to employ people in this dangerous plant where, robots might run you over. I know they've got, AI and they're being driven around with, cameras and stuff that tells them, so you need to stop if there's a human being. But if anything were to happen at all, if there was a pinch point and somebody lost an arm or some shit, if they were high on something that's illegal, then, the insurance wouldn't pay and it'd just be a PR nightmare for them. I get that, right? You shouldn't be having people high in your facility. You shouldn't be having people drunk in your facility either. But high is easier to test for in drug tests because the metabolites of alcohol only show up within the next 5 days of you drinking, whereas cannabis, if you're smoking concentrates, can last 3 fucking months. If you're just one of those occasional joint smokers, you should be okay after 3 weeks as far as a job search. But Amazon is not being just benevolent here. The reason why they're backing the Republican bill for this is because they're not trying to get it so that it's treated like alcohol. They're just trying to get the drug decriminalized to the point where they can hire a different pool of people and then promote themselves as the employer of choice for people who maybe occasionally like to smoke weed. And, they're betting on their technology keeping things running. Keeping all the packages in place. The logistics will be, policed by the machines. They're still going to be using human labor in a lot of it, but, whether or not it gets there, people, deliver the package, they take a picture of the package on the doorstep. How hard is that? Somebody who is high could probably do that. And see, the thing with cannabis, I deal with this with DUID cases, is the legal limit for a DUID, if the police pull you over and they take you to the hospital and do a blood draw, in Colorado, it's 5 nanograms per deciliter. And if you smoked a joint last week, you have 5 nanograms per deciliter in your blood. No problem. It's there. It's so low, the threshold that is set for being impaired. right? Now, when people smoke a joint, maybe 2 or 3 days later, they feel completely unaffected by the joint that they smoked 3 days ago, right? Same thing as my clients who, had a night partying and then decided to sleep it off. They slept for 8 hours. They woke up, tried driving to work, got pulled over, and breathalyzed, and they ended up with a DUI. Why? Because they drank more alcohol than 8 hours of sleep could sleep off. When they woke up, they didn't feel drunk. They felt like they were in control of their senses and whatnot, but they were still a bit impaired, and the officer saw it, and, then they got busted. So I've got plenty of clients that have had that happen to them. So what I'm getting at is, if somebody's allowed to smoke pot and then they're allowed to go into Amazon and work within the next, say, 3 weeks, they're still going to have a level of THC in their bloodstream for weeks, if not months, depending on the strength of the product that they're smoking or ingesting, however. But yeah, here's the kicker. This is the strangeness from an addiction counselor that you're gonna hear probably nowhere else. You would be luckier if cannabis actually was considered like heroin. Hear me out. It isn't. They're both in Schedule 1, right? But heroin is in 2 places. It's in Schedule 1 and in Schedule 4 as diamorphine, where it's then given a label by a company and sold as a product in a controlled way. But like, people can get their hands on it. If marijuana were recognized for having accepted medical uses and lesser potential for abuse because of a different packaging, and it were recognized that way federally and put into a different schedule, as well as being in the main schedule 1 for the unrefined product that people could grow in their backyard. If there was other products that were recognized federally for their uses, maybe it would be a bonus, but that's not what Amazon wants. If it's Amazon backing this plan, you should be suspect to begin with. What Amazon wants is a dumbed down workforce, a workforce that they can get away with paying less money, because they know that they're not going to be able to get jobs in other places, because then they'd have to pass the drug test. They want doped up workers who are willing to accept less pay and maybe will work longer hours and will not think about unionizing because they're afraid of losing their job, because then they'd have to go clean for a very long time in order to get a job somewhere else. That's what Amazon wants. They want to lock their workers in as basically wage slaves. So, no, I do not think that this Amazon getting involved in the decriminalization of cannabis is necessarily an all good thing. Do I believe in decriminalizing cannabis? Yes, I do. Because it makes no sense to put labels on people as being, felons and criminals for a substance when you're wanting them to rehabilitate their lives. It makes my job a bit harder when I'm trying to help people get their life back on track when they're, dragging around these labels. But if it's done so in a way where we still don't have access to good, safe, refined products, and all we have access to is a dumbed down workforce that can be exploited by Amazon, that's not the best solution to this problem. So, those are my thoughts on this. That's how I see it. See you guys tomorrow. Take care.